Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Big Money Show, brought to you by the team of Big Financial Services. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio is the president, Glenn Cummings. We're so glad you're here with us today. If you were born between the years of 1946 and 1980, you're especially not going to want to miss today's show. We're going to be talking about something known as the Great Wealth Transfer that's underway, and with it comes several considerations you need to be prepared and aware of. Glenn, my friend, are you ready?
I don't know. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Yes, I am so excited to talk about this.
Yes, this is important.
Yeah, there's so much money out there, right? That is going to transition to younger families, right? But the problem is that I want my clients to spend their money and enjoy it, right?
Yes.
I mean, the kids are going to get the houses maybe, the cars, but all this wealth transfer and the taxes on it is staggering.
Yes.
It's staggering.
It's staggering, and a lot of folks are completely unaware of the tax problem and implications that this great wealth transfer can create for them.
Yeah.
They're unaware and they're not prepared. And so that's why we wanted to devote today's conversation to this. But here's the reality. It is estimated that $84 trillion. Yes, that's trillion with a T, is expected to pass from the baby boomer generation on down to Gen X and millennials. And with that comes considerations for those who are passing on the wealth, as well as for those who will be inheriting it. So, Glenn, $84 trillion, it's mind-blowing.
Well, what a lot of you folks didn't realize is that there used to be this thing called a stretch provision in the qualified plans with IRAs. Used to be the stretch provision where if I have children and I pass away, they could have stretched out those IRAs, not pay so much in taxes over their lifetime. And then when they get older, less income, supposedly, that's kind of the goal with these, less taxation. But that's gone. It's gone, right? So this big wealth transfer is going to be a massive amount of taxes to your kids.
Yes.
Because here's the problem. The problem is they're required now to liquidate those entire IRA balances over 10 years at possibly the highest tax rates.
Right, because they're probably in their highest earning years when they're inheriting that wealth.
Yes. Yep. So if I look at that and I really focus on it, $84 trillion times, we'll say, maybe 30%. That's going to help pay off some of this debt that this country has, don't you think? Right?
Oh, the government's very aware of how much wealth is sitting there yet to be taxed, right?
Yeah. And some of the other things I think it's a little catchy too is a lot of people say, well, why do they keep extending these required minimum distribution requirements, right? Was it 70 years old? Now it's 73. But here's the point. If they keep extending it, right? A lot of retirees I meet with, they're not spendaholics, right?
They've been really good savers,
Good
right?
savers. It's like the group of families that were savers and more conservative, right? With their investments and not spending a whole bunch and just building up their net worth. A lot of those clients don't spend a lot of that money. So I believe the government, in a way, kind of figured out a way to really get those taxes because they know upon, those people passing away, there's going to be a huge tax burden for the kids. And that's one of the things we want to try to help eliminate for you folks, right? Don't completely carry on this tax burden. Right. Not only for my spouse, if I'm married, but also for my kids. Let's try to eliminate that tax burden. And there's a lot of ways to do it, right?
Yes. Yep.
And legal ways to do it that we could share with you. So we'd love to.
Yeah, and that's why we want to have this whole conversation. I think when it comes to taxes, so many folks just assume, oh, that's just the way it is. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to pay them. Yeah. But no, the good news is that when you are proactive, when you are aware that there is a problem, that's when you can begin to take steps to potentially reduce that tax bill, not just for yourself, but for your loved ones that you may be passing on that wealth to. And, as we were preparing the show, Glenn, obviously the baby boomer generation is where this wealth transfer is coming from.
Yes.
But Gen X, our greatest generation, right?
Yes.
We really have to pay attention. We are. Yes. Every generation has their things, right? But Gen X is now entering the retirement red zone.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, right? Meaning that 5 to 10 year window away from retirement, which is usually, to your point, when folks might be inheriting this wealth. That's why this has to be planned for on both sides of the equation.
Yeah, it really does. And, but I've seen positives and negatives to this type of stuff all the time in the type of work I do, right? So I recently had a client and, he kind of the plans we built for him, he had a lot of additional expenses. He has a property on the water. In Florida, we had some hurricanes recently. So he's had to pull a lot more money out of his investment savings, right, to cover those costs. But fortunately, we built a plan that even if that money's gone, he's okay because he has this other source of income for his retirement. So we have everything situated for him, but he was really spending a lot of that discretionary cash on fixing all of his property, and the roof and the new dock, all the stuff. Well, he also said, Glenn, at some point in time, my mom is, in her late 80s, so is my dad. At some point in time, I'm not planning on it, but I'm going to probably have some type of inheritance, right? And guess what?
What?
The mom and the dad both have passed away recently. Okay? When I talk to him, we send flowers. We try to say, hey, we're so sorry for your loss. And he said to me, he goes, Glenn, here's the thing that really is not really a loss to me. He goes, my mom and dad, right, loved each other for years, and neither one of them spent a long time suffering or a long time being sick. It seems like God just took them home. And he goes, and I've got almost $1 million that I'm inheriting, right? Between him and his sister. It's split up between both of them. So that now is going to replenish a lot of that money that he was spending. And the fortunate part is that the mom and dad, did planning in advance. So every dollar that him and his sister now are inheriting is tax-free.
Wow.
Tax-free.
What a gift.
It's a gift, but his parents had to do some tax planning. They had to, get rid of the IRS by paying them off, right? Think of the IRS as a debtor, right? Think of the IRS as a mortgage, right? That you want to try to get rid of. And your IRAs, your 401ks, they're always a debtor. You have a debt to the IRS. Try to get rid of them, try to remove them, and then try to move things into Roths that can provide tax-free, right, to the kids. If you have non-qualified money and you own a lot of equity positions, hold on to those because there could be a step-up basis, right, that will go to the beneficiaries without the big long-term capital gains tax, right, that you could experience if you sold those before you passed away. Very, very complicated things that we deal with every single day in our firm. That's why you need to give us a call. Because if you give us a call, we'll sit down and look over your entire plan. We're going to look over the possible inheritances that you're going to get, what possible tax issues you could have in advance. And we're going to share it with you. Let's bring the whole family in together and let's do things the best possible way that can help improve your retirement.
Yes, Glenn, thank you so much. I'm excited to continue this conversation with you, and we're going to bring a lot more awareness and allow you to even see in real time today what that potential tax bill might look like, and then to continue to discuss steps and solutions to help you reduce it even now. But that number to call if you would like to come in and sit down and receive that complimentary written financial plan from Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services, simply call the number on the bottom of your screen, 888-503-7408. Or if you'd rather connect online, we've got you covered. Simply grab your smartphone. You can click that QR code that you see there down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team from Big Financial Services will reach out to connect with you to schedule your complimentary meeting that way as well. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to be sharing a very important resource for you that you can actually use during today's show, completely complimentary, to see how much you could potentially save in taxes. Stay with us to find out what it is.
How many of you love paying taxes? I don't love paying taxes. Do we believe that right now, with the way things are in the economy, the way things are with our national deficit going up, that taxes are going to go down, or the taxes possibly are going to go up? Do you know what the highest tax rates were from 1932 to 1982? They were close to 70%. I'm not saying we're going to get back there, folks, but we need to look at our retirement savings and realize that many of us are saving in 401ks, IRAs, tax-deferred investments that are going to create huge, massive tax problems for us in the future. If you'd like to reduce those taxes, please give my office a call. We'd love to sit down with you and share with you some great planning tools that could hopefully help you reduce your taxes in the future. Give my office a call today. Think your retirement savings are all yours? Think again. Your 401k, IRA, or other pension comes with a tax bill from good old Uncle Sam, and it could be much bigger than you expect. If you want to find out how much, our quick and easy tax calculator can show you right now. And to see what your potential tax hit could be, just simply scan the QR code or visit bigtaxbill.com.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show. I'm Kristen Oakley here with Glenn Cummings, president of Big Financial Services. We're so glad you're joining us today. We are discussing the great wealth transfer, the fact that it is estimated that $84 trillion is expected to pass from the baby boomer generation on down to the Gen X and millennial generation. And with that comes several considerations, especially from a tax perspective, that need to be focused on and planned for. And, you know, Glenn, I think we should share with our viewers, we were talking during the break, and one of the things I really appreciate about you and the team is your commitment to helping families get on the same page.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of families, this is kind of a taboo subject, right? It's never fun to think about what's going to happen when folks may not be around any longer. It can feel weird to talk about inheritance situations, but the point is, if that is the plan for the family to pass on that wealth, you want to make sure and help equip families to do it in the most tax efficient manner possible, right?
Yeah, you know, a lot of cases I see nightmares all the time, you know, and the nightmares I see are the Gen X's, are the baby boomer, you know, that are receiving these so-called inheritances from their parents, but their parents didn't plan properly.
Right.
Their parents had, we'll say, a will as a method they chose to distribute their assets upon their death. Right? Well, with a will comes a thing called probate. Right? And probate involves courts. It involves attorneys.
Legal fees.
It takes time. It's very stressful. So I have people that come in all the time and they're like, I've got this inheritance, but I don't know when I'm going to get it. Oh, and by the way, you know, I really don't have the money to pay for mom and dad's homeowner's insurance and their mortgage on the home. You know, and I thought I could sell it right away, but I can't because it's going through probate, which in some cases could be a few months to a few years. Right? So estate planning is something we specialize in as well. Let's make sure the estate is in working order. Right? Let's make sure we don't go through probate. Make sure all the accounts are properly taken care of with beneficiaries and everything is done right, okay? And then the other major concern, of course, is like we discussed, is getting a free consultation with the clients, right, before they go. You know, if you have parents, folks, and you're out there and your parents, you know you're going to inherit something at some point in time down the road, it is an uncomfortable situation because you don't want to feel like, hey, mom and dad, you know, what do you have? And I'm going to bring this guy Glenn in. You know, give them some information about the company. Let them look us up, right? Tell them to watch our show, get them comfortable, and then make sure that they have the opportunity to have everything reviewed. Because once I review everything, I'm going to give them advice as an independent fiduciary, and I'm going to say, hey, these accounts should be done this way. You know, do you want to make sure your kids get this money tax-free or taxable, right? Do you need this money right now? You don't need the money, then let's get out of these IRAs. Let's pay some taxes now. Let's pay off that tax bill, right? And let's move into some tax-free things to where it goes tax-free to your spouse, tax-free to your kids. You know, so there's so much involved in what we do, and you need good advice. And all of you out there that realize a lot of times people feel, gosh, I don't know if I can make that phone call. I don't know a lot about this stuff, right? So you're sitting at home and you're wanting to make the call, but you don't know if you really should make the call. And you feel like, I don't know if my situation's worth even wasting this gentleman's time for, or my team for. We never charge a consultation fee.
Ever.
So take the phone number down. If you don't call us today, call us tomorrow, call us next week, Call us, let's talk, let's see what you have, let's see if we can help your parents, let's see if we can make sure everything is smooth, because if you don't do it properly and you didn't plan for this in advance, it's a guarantee we're all going to go. We just don't know when.
Exactly right.
Right?
Yep.
So if you don't plan this stuff properly, if you don't look at taxes, you don't look at making sure everything is a smooth transition, it's way more stressful.
Yes, for sure. Well, and two things I would say too is that one is when someone's grieving, that's not the time on top of everything else you want to have to wade through a nightmare and a mess that's been dumped in your lap. It's one of the most loving things that you can ever do to make sure that things are buttoned up and to make sure that your wishes are carried out. That's a beautiful thing. There's no right or wrong here. There's no judgment when folks come in and sit down with you. You get to say, okay, what would you like to do? And then based on what they tell you, you develop a plan to make that a reality for them.
Yeah, and of course, we don't want, to change from their plan, right? So if their plan is, hey, we still want to enjoy our money, we still want to enjoy our retirement, I've sat down with folks that their advisor is doing a great job, and I've reviewed their plan and said, this guy's doing a great job, but the kids down the road feel comfortable working with me, right? So when mom and dad pass away, they're going to leave that advisor. When the money comes over, I'll be managing it for the kids, right? So, but have the plan reviewed. Make sure everything's taken care of.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know we promised before the break this awesome resource that you and I always get so excited to share with our viewers, because it's a game changer when you can have the awareness of what that potential tax bill might be for you and your loved ones. So what we want to share with you is this tax bill calculator resource, completely free for you. You can visit the site bigtaxbill.com. You can also click that QR code, and let's just walk folks through what they're going to see, shall we?
Oh, please. You do the best at it.
Oh, well, thank you. It's a team effort.
I always just say, just go to the darn computer, go to the bigtaxbill.com. Do it on your phone.
Yes,
it's easy.
It is easy.
And it's really staggering when you see the amount of taxes that you're going to carry forward. I call it carry forward taxes, unless you get rid of them today.
Correct.
You can get rid of the IRS now.
Yep. And we're going to spend the rest of today talking exactly about how to do that. But yes, as Glenn said, grab your smartphone. We know it's sitting there anyway. Go to bigtaxbill.com, click that QR code, and here is what you are going to see. There's going to be a simple landing page. You'll put in some basic information, your name, your current age, how much money you have saved up in tax-deferred accounts, whether that's a traditional 401k, 403b, a traditional IRA, for example. You'll also put in the email address that you would like your complimentary report sent to. And then you'll notice at the bottom, there's two little sliders you can play around with. You can adjust what your assumed tax liability might be, along with the assumed growth rate on that pile of tax-deferred money. Then once you click submit, two things are going to happen. First, you're going to be able to see a side-by-side comparison. I know, it's so staggering.
It's staggering.
The difference between what the government's tax plan for you is there in red on the left if you do nothing, versus on the right, how much less you could pay in tax if you enact some of these proactive tax planning strategies. But then it doesn't stop there. You're also going to receive a complimentary 4-page report emailed directly to you. This is a screenshot of one page of that report, which will show you the breakdown of your numbers. And Glenn, once folks see that, they're definitely going to want to reach out and connect with you to say, help, how do I make sure that I'm not paying any more to the IRS than I'm legally required to pay, right?
Yes, it really blows me away with how many folks are using that free tax calculator.
Oh, it's such a valuable resource.
It has been a huge success. I mean, I think we're adding this on every show, aren't we?
As much as possible, because people need this information.
They need it, and they love it, and it's simple to do, right? So this calculator we created, we had a whole team that built this thing. It just blows you away, when you actually can see how simple it is to just plug in a few things, and you'll get this really nice report back. And as I mentioned before, When you set up a time to get together with us, we can do it by a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it by a Zoom. We can do it by coming by my office, having a fresh cup of coffee. It's a beautiful office building, got a nice big screen. I can share all these different tax tools and things with you, okay? But we're never going to charge a consultation fee, as we mentioned, right? And you don't have to feel uncomfortable about meeting with us ever. We want you to be comfortable. Realize that we're blessed to be a very successful firm, right? We're not going to twist your arm or do those kind of things to come work with us. We're not going to, have this report get emailed to you and have 500 phone calls to your phone. This is what happens with a lot of other companies where you're a target to them. We're not targeting anyone.
No.
These are just tools that we can share with you, and we're selective with clients that we work with. To be honest,
it has to be a good fit on both sides of the equation, right?
It has to be a good fit. So we don't want to work with everyone, but we usually do work with everyone because once they take the time, and usually it's a 2 to 3 meeting process. I'm not going to sit down with you the first meeting and say, okay, we're just going to do all of this today.
Well, because it's not a cookie cutter approach either, so you wouldn't be able to do that.
You can't, you got to sit down, you've got to talk to folks, you got to figure out what their goals are, right? What their dreams are, what their tax liabilities are, what income they have coming in. It's a very large, I'd say, approach to cover everything that someone needs to be covered. But what's nice about it is if you go through our process, 2 and 3 meetings, by the time you're done with those 3 meetings, you feel so good.
Yes. Yeah, well, there's peace of mind that comes from knowing you're either on track or here's some areas for improvement, and then you help walk folks through how to make those changes.
Yeah, love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Glenn, thank you. To our viewers at home, again, we encourage you to visit bigtaxbill.com. Again, you can get there by visiting that web address or clicking that QR code. Having that information is invaluable so that you can see the potential tax bill that you might pay over your lifetime. And once you receive that, we're pretty confident you're going to want to reach out and come in to receive your very own complimentary written financial plan. So that number to call to claim yours is 888-503-7408, or you're welcome to schedule that appointment by clicking that QR code. That will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more on this important conversation regarding the great wealth transfer and what it means for you right after this.
So you have a 401k with a former employer. Great, fantastic. That means you've been able to accumulate some wealth, it's growing, but the problem is you don't have a lot of investment options that may be available to you except for what's in that 401k. So what's the best option that we see in a lot of cases? For clients to simply roll that over. No taxes, they simply roll that over to another IRA if you have an IRA account. And once that money rolls over, you can look at other options that may be available that you're not even aware of. Sit down with a professional, someone that can help you look over that 401k and either stay in the current plan or look to roll that over to where you may have better options that may help improve your retirement in the future. Look at reducing those taxes, look at getting a great income plan. That's something our company loves to do for folks. We'd love to share them with you. Please give us a call today. As Americans, we strive for better. From a better house to a better career, to a better life for our kids. Better has become the American way. But when it comes to your retirement, what does better mean to you? More income? A flexible lifestyle? Better solutions? A better retirement begins with a plan. To get your complimentary written financial plan, call the number you see here. You only retire once, and this is your opportunity to plan for better.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show, where today Glenn and I are discussing the great wealth transfer, the fact that it's estimated $84 trillion is expected to pass from the baby boomer generation on down, and what that means for you, especially from a tax perspective, whether you are the one who's going to be passing on that wealth or on the receiving end of that inheritance. And Glenn, we just shared that tax calculator with folks, which again, such a valuable resource. If you've not yet gone and visited the site, we encourage you to do so, bigtaxbill.com. You'll receive a report completely complimentary with the breakdown of your numbers and what that potential tax bill could be for you over your lifetime versus how much less they could pay in tax if they do some of these strategies. So I'd love for you to share with our viewers throughout the rest of today's show the solution to this problem so that folks don't inadvertently pass on this ticking tax time bomb to their loved ones.
Think about it as I mention always, as I have a business partner. Right? I have a company. Let's assume I'm going to sell my company for $1 million. Okay, I'm going to sell it for $1 million. Well, I have a silent partner that's going to be $370,000 to get rid of.
Right.
Okay. Do I want to get rid of him now? Right. Which is the IRS, folks. Okay, I don't like
Uncle
the IRS.
Sam.
Do I want to get rid of that debtor? Get rid of him now,
Yep.
or do I want my $1 million to go to $2 million? And now I have a $700,000 tax bill to get rid of them.
Right.
This is the point I'm trying to make, right? Our money's going to grow over time. The tax liability is also going to grow. The government knows that.
Yes.
There are plans in place that can help you get rid of that tax problem. We can share it with you just by going to the tax calculator. It just opens your eyes up. But many of you are going to procrastinate. Many of you that are watching the show right now, oh yeah, the IRS, like you said, oh, blah, 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 they're always going to get their money. Don't let them get your money. Learn how to get rid of the IRS. Let's give our families, our spouses, our kids, let's give them tax-free money, right, in the future. We can do it. Let's get together. We'll share some great plans with you. And folks, we're not just all over the United States, right? We're right here in Tampa Bay. Right? A lot of people are calling in saying, where's the show at? Is this nation? No, we're in Tampa Bay.
Right.
Come into the office in Tampa, sit down with me. Love to meet each and every one of you. And I know you're going to finish off here, Kristen. I mean, thank you so much for doing this. You're just fantastic.
Thank you.
The best host ever is you, period. So they need to give you a raise. We're going to get you a raise today.
Well, we have
We're going to demand it today.
A lot of fun together. And I think the important thing is understanding that this is about you. It's about your life. And how could you potentially put yourself in a better situation? But it comes with taking proactive steps and proactive planning. But here's the great news. This might be new to you. It's not new to Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services. This is what they do for folks day in and day out, and they would love to help and serve you. Again, we invite you to use these resources. It's for no cost, no charge, no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services can help and serve you. So in addition to visiting bigtaxbill.com, we invite you to pick up the phone and call this number to schedule your time to come in and receive that complimentary written financial plan. 888-503-7408. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and we look forward to being back with you next time here on The Big Money Show.